welcome to the Pearly Eye Review. I'm PJ, and I got the chance to see Dumbo, the live-action remake version. Here's my ticket. Okay, let me try and give a quick summary of the new one. Movie starts off with Colin Farrell. He has just gotten back from the war. He has 2 kids, played by Nico Parker, Nico Parker and Finley Hobbins, play his daughter and son. Their mother has died, and the circus where he worked before he went to war is in financial trouble. And Mrs. Jumbo, one of the elephants, is pregnant, and she eventually gives birth to Dumbo. And of course they notice he has abnormal ears. The children figure out that he can fly. Long story short, Dumbo, they find out he can fly, and he becomes the circus's main attraction. And this theme park owner, played by, my phone just fell off the desk. This theme park owner, played by Michael Keaton, makes a partnership with the circus run by Danny DeVito. And of course, there are a lot of shady deals with the theme park owner between DeVito and Michael Keaton. Before they made the deal with Michael Keaton, because the crowd was teasing Dumbo, and Dumbo's mother went crazy, and she was labeled as a mad elephant, and then they got separated, and they sold her off. And so the kids figure, well, Dumbo, since we're making good money, and we made this deal with this big theme park owner, maybe you can work to get the money to buy your mom back. So that is Dumbo's motivation. So of course they find other ways to get Dumbo's mother back. And that's pretty much the overall different tone of this new version. I'm going to talk about the things that I did like about this film. The CGI. They've somehow managed to keep the design of Dumbo from the original cartoon version and really brought it to the live action version. He still has those big, Disney-like eyes, but it looks normal. It matches, it blends in with the human characters in terms of how the elephants look, the adult elephants and Dumbo. Even with Dumbo's exaggerated eyes and cartoony expressions, it works somehow. And overall, the CGI is very good in this. When he's flying, just when he's standing next to human characters and just in a real environment, it looks natural. The remix of Baby of Mine, the song, the little lullaby song played in the original, they remixed it a little bit. The lyrics are the same as far as I know, what I heard in this version, and I really like it. It's very good. Looking down at my notes. I did like the explanation as to how Dumbo's mother got free, because in the original version, it's just that Dumbo became the main attraction in the circus, and well, because he's the star, his mother's no longer in chains, and she's no longer a mad elephant just cuz. I'm like, okay, how? That was always a question I had in the original film. In this one, they have a series of events to rescue Dumbo's mother, and that's explained very well. Oh, and no crows. No stereotypical crows. That's good. So no crows. Things I did not like. Oh boy. Yeah, the human characters help Dumbo, but they're not all that interesting. Especially, okay, I'll say this. What I liked about the original is that you really felt that Dumbo was alone. He didn't have anyone. The circus people really didn't like him, and the elephants didn't like him. And it was just always funny that this tiny mouse, Timothy Q. Mouse, was his friend, because there's a tall tale of, I don't know how true this is, that elephants are afraid of mice. It probably is true, I don't know. But people always, people just say that. I just, as a little kid, I always thought that was funny that this little mouse, the one thing that elephants are afraid of, becomes his best friend in the world. Now, in this version, this new one, it's replaced by two kids that are so boring. There's nothing interesting about these kids. They try to pull that, well, because they lost their mother and they know what Dumbo's going through. I don't care. I really don't care about these kids. I really don't. They are so much in the way of the main character, which is Dumbo. And you don't feel that loneliness that you feel in the original film. You really felt Dumbo's pain of having no one, except for Timothy Q. Mouse. Because it was always Dumbo against the humans that didn't understand him. Or his own, species. So I didn't like that. Also, the young actress who plays the little girl in this film, Nico Parker, that's the daughter of I always want to say Tandy. I think her name is Thandie Newton. British actress. I don't like really talking about children or people's kids. It was her first film. I can understand that, but her acting is not that great in this film. She doesn't really emote that much. She doesn't show emotion. Here's an example of the problem I had with this little girl in this film. There's a scene where they force Dumbo to work with the clowns because he messed up his first act, and this is at first when they couldn't figure out, they didn't know he could fly yet, and they just threw him with the clowns. And Dumbo gets trapped near the buildings that are on fire because the ladder where he was brought up on breaks. So he jumps on this platform near this fake building that's on fire, but he's trapped. The ladder has broken. He has no way to get down. He really doesn't know how to fly yet. Except for when the kids wave a feather in his face, he has the courage to fly. So the little girl, she has to wave a feather in Dumbo's face. And how she does it, it's just so dry and bland. Now, I'm dry and bland myself, but hey, I'm not an actress. So instead of going like, Dumbo, here, hurry, take the feather, fly. You gotta, I can't help you, you gotta save yourself. It's, Dumbo, here, come on, you can do it, boy. Fly. It's just, and where they're exciting things like, oh my god, whoa, he's flying. She's just, like, no, oh my god, it really worked. He finally flew with the feather. It's just, she's very, very wooden. I think I saw more personality from her when they did some, interviews about Dumbo. So, Nico, I'm sorry. Tim Burton really should have guided you. Look, there are some actors that don't need directing. They don't need anyone to hold their hand, and there are some actors you need to push them to really bring out a performance. Finley Hobbins, I think the little boy, I forget what the name of his character, it plays her brother in this. He's just as boring. I guess Tim Burton told them to sort of be boring or just not emote that much. I'm not saying they need to be over the top, but these kids, it's like, wake up. You guys are dealing with the flying elephant. And that's, you know, and like I said earlier, these human characters, they're not interesting. They get in the way of the main character, which is Dumbo. There's one touching scene with Dumbo and his mom where they try to play off of the original, where his mom's locked up in a cage and she reaches her trunk through the bars of the cage and touches his forehead because he can only reach through on the outside. And they're, you know, touching trunks and hugging and all that. And that's it. You don't see much of that mother and son relationship, that deep connection that you feel from the cartoon. It's just not there. Yeah. I tell you, the original, those scenes with his mom, especially when he just can't, she's not free to protect him and she can't really be with him, I tear up every time because he's so lonely. He's so lonely. Yeah, even though he does have Timothy Q. Mouse, but there's nothing like having, you know, the person that saw you for the first time and, like, didn't judge you, you know. That unconditional mother's love. Yeah, you really didn't feel that. But overall, I think those are the problems I had with this film. It's just I don't like the human characters. Again, they get in the way of Dumbo. I'm looking down at my notes. Yeah, overall, that was it. You just don't feel the emotion. Oh, and also, the scene where they take her away, it's not as terrifying or heartbreaking like it was in the cartoon when they, you know, separate her from Dumbo. It really missed the mark in this film. So, but overall, I mean, I think if you want something for your little ones to watch for an hour and whatever minutes, however long this movie is, yeah, but for, I mean, everybody, no. For just adults alone that remember this when they were little, stay home and just, if you like to watch the original, stay home and watch that. Or if you just want to collect the cartoon versions and the live action versions, just keep that tradition up. I will wait until you can get the digital copy or get the Blu-ray or DVD, whatever you have. I would stay home. This is not a must-see. This is, you can stay home. It's nothing to run to the movie theater. It does not have the impact of, in terms of Dumbo and his mom, that emotional relationship. The human characters are just too much in this. They really take away from Dumbo. And, you know, the movie's called Dumbo. That is your main attraction. Yeah. Along with the CGI, I like the costumes, and, you know, that's it. So what did you think? If you had a chance to see Dumbo, or you're thinking about it, for those that did see it, what do you think? Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Like and subscribe. Click the bell so you can get notifications of when I put out my new videos. And that's my review. Thanks.